This is One on One. Steve Adubato here at NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. This is the Voice Summit. This room is just filled with about 2,000 people. They're now in another room listening to panel discussions, keynote speeches. And the gentleman sitting across from me has had an awful lot to do with bringing all these folks to Newark, New Jersey. Pete Erickson, founder of Modev, and founder of this, in fact, Voice Summit. Did I say it correctly, Modev?
Modev, yeah.
Modev.
Yeah.
And it stands for?
It stands for mobile development, which is really where we got our start 10 years ago. Just after the iPhone had come out, there was a need to bring people together around this new technology, so Modev was born.
What do you mean there was a need to bring people together?
Well, technology can't happen unless people come together to build technology. So I saw the need and I created a community around that. So I created Modev. I was living in Washington, D.C., and there was a need to bring people together. I sort of filled that need. And I decided after putting on my first conference, I really enjoyed it a lot, and that's now my full-time vocation.
Where'd you grow up?
So I'm from the West Coast, so California, then Seattle. So I really spent...
Any high tech going on in Seattle?
Yeah, well, yes. Seattle's changed a little bit over the years. It's a very tech city. But when I got to DC, there wasn't as much tech, so I needed to bring the people together.
This summit, again, we're talking to all kinds of people, fascinating folks from all different walks of life. Why are they here?
Well, they're here because we're on the precipice of this new era. It's called the Voice First era. So we just
the
Voice First era, and we're just coming out of the mobile first era. We've all have smartphones now. We all tap, swipe, and pinch. We weren't doing that 10 years ago. So we've just gone through this amazing transformation. Well, the next transformation is happening. It's the Voice First era, and the people that are here from 8 countries, from 30 states, 2,500 people, they are here because they're interested in being on the forefront of this new transformation.
What's fascinating to me is, just in talking to you for 2 minutes, it's very clear to anyone watching as well, you're a people person.
Yes.
The idea of being a people person, enjoying engaging with other people, and technology. You're not a programmer, are you?
It's funny. I got my start early as a programmer. And for 3 years in college, I was a computer science major. So I learned how to code and all that stuff. But then I switched to business. I really am a people person. I'm the 5th child of 10 children. So it's really in my nature to be around people. To engage, to solve problems. And I really enjoy this. So when the people come around, that's where I get my energy, and we carry this forward.
Talk about the connection between being on the precipice of what's happening right now and this technological explosion, which just is consuming so many parts of our life, and the effort to continue to, I'm obsessed by human interaction.
Yeah.
How do we, you know where I'm going.
Yeah. I mean,
is it this?
Our whole why I founded my company is that human connection is vital in the era of digital transformation. That's our belief. That's why we do what we do. And, you know, as I said, we've got all this amazing technology, but it can't do anything unless you get the people together to actually
Give me an example.
build it.
Break down, give a couple examples.
Well, I would give a great example would be Amazon Alexa. You've got, now we have this device that's going into tens of millions of homes. And there was a group of people, probably in Seattle, maybe a few other offices, but they had to come together and really devise this whole thing. The iPhone couldn't start without Steve Jobs saying, give me some really smart people to figure this out. I have a vision. So technology cannot happen unless the people come together. The iPhone, actually, when it came out, it was pretty standard technology. They just put together a lot of those pieces in a small platform. And people did, and revolutionized industry. The same thing is happening with voice and Voice First, and I would say artificial intelligence.
I was going to ask you about artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Connect artificial intelligence. By the way, define it, and then what I'm fascinated by, I think it was Gardner who did some original work in the area of, Dr. Gardner did some original work around artificial intelligence. I remember reading as a college student thinking, so where is the place for human beings again when it comes to AI?
Yeah, what's interesting is, well, we're training computers to understand intent and then have a response, or take inputs of data and then do something with that data that can be deemed as intelligent, right? So being able to make decisions based on data, that's artificial intelligence. Now, what artificial intelligence will never replace is our human-only characteristics of, instinct,
Nonverbal.
intuition, yes, emotion, gut, all these things are really uniquely human, and that is actually why it's more important than ever that we bring people together. Because as technology evolves and gets faster, and it seems to be getting smarter, it actually can't replace our human-only characteristics, and our human-only characteristics actually get more valuable.
A more philosophical question from my point of view, which is also grounded in what I want to believe is pretty practical concern that a lot of us have, particularly parents. We have a 14 to 15-year-old little girl who's 8 and a big boy who's 25 from my first marriage. I noticed that the younger kids, they interact less this way than my older son. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
My concern, the concern of millions of parents, is the potential either inability or the struggle of those who have grown up around technology, including voice, to have the kind of skills, instincts to just do this.
Right. Well,
Am I
think,
making too much of it?
No, I think it's a fair concern. But if you look at the history of technology, the same things were raised when radio happened.
This isn't different.
The same thing were raised when telephones were happened. The same thing were raised when television happened. Now, I do believe that social media is a major challenge. It's having an impact on kids. Suicide rates are up. There are a lot of challenges. I would use the recent March for Our Lives as an example, though, that these kids are connected like never before.
And they got together physically on a human level.
Created a movement that had never been seen before, and they got together and they were able to communicate. They're amazing communicators because they spend their lives communicating with each other. So while there are negative sides, there's also very positive sides. And so it's going to be interesting to see how the voice first era has an impact on that. But I would say that, we got to witness some of the positive.
You're bullish. You're positive.
I'm very positive because I believe in people, and people are the ones that drive forward technology. And when we were in there doing that introduction, we had a 13-year-old boy who was already programming.
Set that up. We'll grab some video of that, but talk to us about it.
Yeah, so, one of the things I want to do is I want to put us all on a level playing field. Right, and so it's important to me, and in the tech space, obviously the tech industry has had its challenges with inclusion. And I want to make sure that, we introduce ourselves as equals, and I wanted to find the youngest person in the room and the oldest person in the room, give them a little reward for being there, but also to show that, we are all in this together, and we're building these technologies together.
What'd you find, a 13-year-old?
I found a 13-year-old boy who was already programming. Found a 70-year-old man who's very into the technology community from NJIT, and it's just a great experience.
And everyone in between.
And everyone in between, right?
Pete Erickson, I want to thank you for joining us. You and your colleagues have done a terrific job bringing folks here to this campus, to this great city, to have this very important conversation. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. You're welcome.
Appreciate it. We're right back right after this.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJIT has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, PSE&G, TD Bank, Verizon, the Northward Center, United Airlines, and by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.